What's going on, guys? So today I want to talk to you about bad habits and how they messed up my life and how they're going to mess up your life too if you carry on going the way you're going. So I want to take you back to when I was about 16 years old. I was in a relationship with someone, and we'd spend a lot of time together. We would, it was a fun relationship. Don't get me wrong, we had a lot of things in common. And overall it was a good experience. But she was a couple of years older than me, which meant that when I was still in school, she was half in school, half out school. So she had the time to, she'd get a part-time job, and a lot of the time she'd be working. So she had money. And obviously, me being a child, basically I didn't have money. I had no income. So obviously, a lot of the time when we were spending time together, we'd always be eating junk food. We'd always be playing video games. We'd always be doing some sort of stupid shit. Indulging in these like quick pleasure activities. And long story short, what I want to say is that over time, as I indulged in these bad habits, I remember going from a teenager who I felt genuine excitement about things. Like, I got a genuine buzz when I was looking forward to something. I was like, I could feel like I felt a little bit like jumping up and down a little bit. I was a teenager so full of life. And then I remember through the course of this relationship getting to a point where I realised that fuck's sake, I no longer felt like that anymore. Instead, I just felt numb. I didn't really feel anything. I felt kind of bad, in a way. And once I got to that point, that realisation that I don't get excited anymore, I realised that, am I depressed? That's what I started thinking. And as I realised that, things just got progressively worse. My mental health got worse. My confidence got worse. My self-esteem got worse. I started to hate myself more and more. And I think it was because I was indulging in activities that are ultimately of a low value, because the pleasure is quickly earned, which means it's quickly taken away. And if it's quickly earned, it means there's no work to get that pleasure. And if there's no work to get that pleasure, it can't be a valuable thing, can it? And obviously, as the relationship went on, I got to a point where I was feeling so shit about my life, about myself, because of my low confidence, my low self-esteem. I'd start to hate myself more and more. And because I hated myself more and more, I became more of a recluse. I became more distant with people. And I felt like in my mind that it was never going to get better. And and because I hated myself so much, I almost wanted to feel depressed, because that's what I was feeling at the time. But I wanted to be depressed because I hated myself that much for being so weak and insecure that I wanted to punish myself. And a lot of people will say that if you're depressed, if you've got chemical depression, that fixing your life, that doing good habits isn't going to change a thing. But maybe that's the case, which I think is total bullshit. But anyway, you have to remove the bad habits from your life, because as soon as you do that, you are going to feel so much better in yourself. And replace these bad habits with good habits. And believe me, once I started doing that, my mental health became so much better. And don't let these vices control your life. And things like reading, writing, working out, eating healthier, doing the things that are harder, but they're going to be good for you in the long run. Those are what I would define as good habits. And don't get to the point where I got, Like that was one of my lowest points in life, and it was shit. It was really shit. Like I genuinely like couldn't, I genuinely got to a point where I felt like I don't want to be here anymore. Imagine that, a 16-year-old kid thinking, I do not want to be on this planet anymore because I hate myself that much, I hate my life that much. We are not meant to feel like that. And that's the reality of the modern world. We have so much access to quick and easy pleasure that it can literally be the death of us. Now, if I'd have rejected that pleasure at that age and started to do better habits, started to exercise more, eat healthier, do more creative things, more productive things, reading, writing, and so on, do you think that I would have got to such a low point in my life, or do you think I would actually be at a point where my life can only go up? I think the latter. So, what I mean to say with this video, guys, is be careful about the habits that you indulge in. Make sure that you regulate them. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have any pleasure whatsoever. Everything is fine in moderation, but you really have to moderate what you allow into your system. So be careful about the habits that you indulge in and replace them with good habits. So I hope this video was valuable to you. If it was, sure leave a like, a comment and subscribe. If you hope you enjoyed that video, that's all I'm going to say about that. Bye.